Hey, what you heard right there was part 2 from the song Remember Me from the motion picture Coco. If you haven't checked out part 1 already, make sure that you do so before you start this tutorial. So I'm going to break down the second half of this song section by section. I will also note that I'm using a ukulele with a low G string on top to emulate the guitar sound in the song. So grab your ukulele and let's get started. So the part that I'm going to describe here I'm going to call the A section, and this is for the lyric, "Remember me, though I have to travel far." So if you haven't checked out the first video, make sure you go back where I really described this picking pattern, but essentially you're going to be planting your pinky on the bass and using your thumb on the top string, your index and middle for the middle strings and bottom strings depending on where the notes lay. So it starts off here with open strings, and this is an open C chord. So we're going to pluck the G string on top first, followed by 8 plucks of the middle 2 strings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Next we go to the F minor. So we're going to have our index finger here on the G string 1st fret, our middle finger on the E string 1st fret, and we're going to pluck the top string once, followed by 6 plucks on the middle 2 strings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we return to the C chord open with a 1 pluck on the G string, followed by 8 plucks again on the middle 2 strings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slight variation from part 1 with this lyric, and it goes to a G minor chord. So we have our middle finger on the G string on the 3rd fret, our index on the C string 2nd fret, and our ring finger on the E string on the 3rd fret. So it makes this little shape here. And we're going to pluck G string once, followed by 3 on the middle strings. 1, 2, 3. And finally we go to this 2nd position C chord, where we're going to pluck the top string once, followed by 3 times of the middle strings. 1, 2, 3. And I have my ring finger on the G string on the 5th fret, middle finger on the 4th fret, C string, index on the E string on the 3rd fret. So again, that C chord is 1 pluck on the G string, followed by 1, 2, 3. Okay, now that you guys have had a chance to really work through that slowly, spend some time on each chord. Make sure that all the notes are ringing out. We're going to play through this nice and slow together, so I'm going to count us in and walk you through this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alrighty, moving right along here to the B section of part 2. So after the A section, you've landed here on sad guitar, so you've went right here to the C chord. You played this. Now, when it starts, know that I'm with you. You're already in position with your C chord, so you've got ring finger on the 5th, middle on the 4th, index on the 3rd here. So we're going to keep that there, and we're going to pluck the top string once. So that's just 1 pluck on the G string. And what I do here is I'm going to take my index finger, move it down to the bottom string on the 3rd fret, and either with my pinky or ring finger is probably a little stronger, so I'd suggest that. You're going to play the 5th fret E string and 3rd fret A string twice. So you were here on the C chord, you pluck 5, and then 5, 3. We're going to move down. The index finger is going to slide down to the 2nd fret. Middle finger is going to go here on the 3rd fret on the E string, and you're going to pluck that twice. That's for With You. We're going to keep sliding down. You could either just slide your middle finger down to keep everything consistent, and you're going to be on the 1st fret on the E string and open A string on the bottom. I'm going to pluck these two twice. And then we move over here to middle finger on the C string, 4th fret, index finger on the E string, 3rd fret, and we're going to pluck that twice with these two fingers. And that's also kind of a component of a C chord. And then we rebuild the full C chord here. So I just take my ring finger and put it on the 5th fret of the G string. I keep my middle finger here on the C string, 4th fret. I'm going to pluck this once, followed by a slide down to the 2nd and 3rd fret. So it's 2 plucks. So the second time I pluck it, I'm just going to keep these compressed and make this into 2 notes. And the last 2 components here, we move to an F chord, and we're just going to use our thumb to drag across all 4 strings. I'm playing here middle finger on the G string, index finger on the E string, 1st fret. Then we're going to go to an A flat chord. So bar chord, a little trickier. Ring finger here, 5th fret G string. I'm going to bar the bottom 3 strings with my index finger. I'm going to add my middle finger to that with the E string on the 4th fret, and my ring finger is going to go here on the G string on top on the 5th. So it should sound like that. So now that you've had a chance to go through that nice and slow, kind of work on each little component on its own, make sure all the notes are ringing out nicely, you're not hearing any buzzing or anything like that. Let's take a whack at going through this nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's take a look at the last little subsection here of part 2, and this will be for the lyric, "Until You're in My Arms Again, Remember Me." So let's break that down. I'm going to note here the first really low note that you hear in the recording is kind of unobtainable on the ukulele. There's not a low enough note to make that, so we just move right into "Until You're in My Arms Again." So there's a little pickup note before that that you'll hear in the recording that's not mentioned in this video. There's not really any way of doing it. So I've skipped it because it wouldn't sound right. So we'll start right on "Until." So for this part, I just try to make a full A flat chord here. So ring finger on the 5th, index finger barring all 4, middle finger here on the E string, 4th fret. So we have full A flat chord. Make sure it sounds like that. And now we're basically going to pluck through this chord. So in the tablature you'll see the numerical breakdown of this, but essentially we're going to pluck the top 2 strings twice. So for "Until," we pluck the top 2 strings. We're just keeping the chord in place. For "You're In," we pluck the middle 2 strings, and then "My Arms," the bottom 2 strings. And then again, we're going to keep this chord down. We're going to add our pinky to the A string here on the 5th fret and pluck the bottom 2 strings again. So let me play through that. For the Remember Me part, the very last line of the song, we just continue to hold down this A flat chord and we do 2 thumb strums on that. And that's remem. Then we move to an F minor chord here. So we have index on the G string, 1st fret, middle on the E string, 1st fret, pinky on the 3rd fret on the A string. We strum that once. And then we take our index and middle finger off and just keep our pinky here to make a C chord. So I'll do that nice and slow. So it's remember me. Let's play through this nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now that you've worked through each section individually, let's take the A, B, and C section here and put them together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, let's play through it now with the lyrics so you can kind of hear how the lyrics lay over the chords. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember me, though I have to travel far. Remember me, each time you hear a sad guitar. Know that I'm with you the only way that I can be, until you're in my arms again. Remember me. Thanks for watching part 2 of Remember Me from the Disney motion picture Coco. To help you enhance this video experience, make sure you go over to allforuke.com where I've put together a tablature for this entire song. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe, and thanks again for watching. Take care, guys.